Vás zdravím u dalšího dílu. Budeme pokračovat v tom vyšetřování toho masakru. Zdrska se mi povedlo zachránit. Ty labky jsem zabil. Zrazek se vrátil zpátky do Hřebčína pracovat. Musel jsem to zahrát mimo záběr, jinak to nešlo. A teď pokračujeme ve vyšetřování a jdeme tady do Úžic. Hledat tady toho kulhavýho labku. Tak jdeme na to. Jedeme teda docela dost časně ráno, takže oni asi ještě všichni spí. Nevím, jestli si tady nedáme někde nějakou čekačku. Chvilku. A tam je nějaká osoba, slezeme z koně. Tady jsem někoho viděl. Jdeme to tady s kratkou. Vesničan, třeba nám poradí, kde ten kulhavec bydlí.
I'm looking for a fellow who lives here, but I don't know his name. Do you know anyone with a limp?
Aye, there's one fellow with a limp. Can't imagine what you'd want with the likes of him. But that's your affair. He lives in a cottage on the edge of the village by the road to Neuilly. May the Lord watch over.
Tak, děkujeme pěkně. Pane vesničan. Zase takhle brzo ráno, to bychom ho mohli chytit doma, Luboše. A ne ho hledat někde po všech čertech. Že jo, Lubo? Co je to tady za sraz? Nějaká party, Luboše? Jsme došli právě včas. Ale ti lidi nevypadají, že by se nějak veselili. To spíš, že si něco přihodilo. Je Luboš? Ne, ten nekulhá. To nebude Luboš.
I'd like to know what something to see looks like.
By the keys of St. Peter, this is all I need. We'll have to send word to Sir Hanush.
That might not be necessary.
Who are you?
I'm Henry of Skalitz, in the service of Hanush's Captain Bernard. I'm investigating the attack at Neuhof, and I think this could be related.
Well, I'm the bailiff of Auschwitz. And I say we don't want any of that kind of trouble around here. What makes you think this has anything to do with Neuhof?
One of the folk at the stud farm recognized someone from Auschwitz among the bandits.
We have no bandits or murderers around here.
Really? They say he had a limp?
Shit. Well, allow me to introduce you to Limpy Luboš. Or all that's left of him.
Aha. Kaluž krve na zemi. Tak, to je pěkný masakr.
Sakra.
Nothing's ever easy.
To se na něm někdo pěkně vyřádil. I ty dveře jsou tam od krve.
You can take this mess off my hands and welcome to it. As for what else there is to find out, I don't know. But look and ask all you like.
To Luboš dopadl teda hodně blbě. A pravděpodobně mu to udělali ti jeho kamarádíčci. Co to vlastně bylo zač? Tady ten chlap.
Can't say I'm too surprised what happened to him. He kept company with all sorts of vermin. He was always getting into some kind of trouble. Punch-ups in the tavern and what have you.
Proč kulál? Co se mu to stalo?
He got that from some villainy or brawl a long time ago.
Has he been up to anything suspicious lately?
I don't know. The last few days he didn't go anywhere. He was home the whole time. But he always kept everyone in the village at arm's length.
Did he have any kith or kin in the village?
None. A loner he was. I don't know the last time I saw him with anyone.
Do you happen to know where he was on the night of the Neuhof raid?
I've no idea. He kept his distance from other folk, so you never knew if he was away or holed up at home.
When did you find the body? And did anyone see anything?
Just now, and nobody saw or heard anything. I don't know how they could gut him like that without someone hearing him scream.
To zvláštní je, to je pravda. Musel hodně řvát u takového masakru. Každopádně, ty jsi mi toho teda moc neřekl, co by mi mohlo mu nějak pomoct. Co ty? Řekneš mi toho víc?
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Leipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
Of course. Ask away.
S kým se Luboš scházel, no? To by mohlo být zajímavý.
He was a loner. He didn't even have any mates in the tavern.
No, tak děkuju.
Do you know what Luboš was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
Not a clue.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Well, now I think of it, I haven't seen him around for a while. No idea where he was skulking.
Mě by spíš pomohlo vědět, kde se to coural. Ne, že se někde. To mi neporadil.
Nobody liked him much, but I wouldn't wish an end like that on any man.
That's all. Thank you.
Takže ty jsi mi taky moc nepomohl. Tak asi do vyptávání jdeme omrknout toho Luboše. Třeba tady budou nějaký stopy. Zavřem to. Ať tady nikdo neočumuje. Čumilové.
What's this? Looks like someone's hit him very hard on the head. Could they have bludgeoned him to death and then gutted him? That would explain why he didn't scream.
Jo, to je možný. Takhle to být mohlo. Je tam napsáno zrádce.
Judas. Looks like this is meant to be a warning. But for who? Why? Maybe the gang had a falling out. But a bandit who knows how to ride isn't something you see every day.
V téhle době určitě. To uměl číst málo kdo. Natož tak nějaký lapka tamhle. Hlava. Ten trup jsem chtěl prozkoumat přece, ne hlavu. Před chvilkou si za to odpověděl sám, majzli ho do hlavy nejdřív. Hlava trup, to už jsme prozkoumali. Ještě nikam nepůjdem. Podíváme se, co tady Luboš měl a schovával. Kde? Okrádat tě nebudem, ty z toho moc neměl. O nějaký jídlo já nemám moc zájem. Ale můžeme si tedy vypáčit truhličku, aspoň. Nevynechat žádnou příležitost k vypáčení. Co tu máš? Nic zajímavého, nic nechci. Ještě se mrknem tady, Lubo. Z kotlíku ti tady jíst nebudu, kdo ví, co ty tam vaříš, ty jeden nechuťáků. Tak nějaký psi a kočky. Tak to jsme tady asi vyřešili všechno. Asi. Ale pořád nám tu svítí to Bčko. Zjistit víc o tom. Jak je ten úkol přesně teda teď? Budu se muset poptat po okolí a o tomhle Lubošovi zjistit něco víc. Třeba mi to někam posune. Tak jdeme zjišťovat. Tebe už jsem se ptal, ty už mi toho asi víc řekneš, ale když tady tak stojíš, tak se tě zeptám ještě. Zkusíme to. Třeba jsi na něco vzpomněl. Tak jestli jsi vzpomněl na nic, tak jdeme někoho najít, kdo něco ví. Vesničan, zase nějaký.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
Sir Hanush gives a job like that to a young fellow like you? Well, why care? Ask.
To už víme, co byl zač. S kým se scházel? To by mě zajímalo.
I really don't know. As far as I know, he had no kin. I never saw him with anyone.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
I don't think he was home at all. Wait, are you saying he... Jesus.
Jo, to si myslíme. Že tam Luboš byl taky.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
I didn't see much of him lately, not even in the tavern. Not until yesterday in church, as it happens.
Včera byl v kostele.
That's all. Thank you.
Že by ho tížilo svědomí špatný a šel se vyspovídat panu faráři? To je dost možný. Kde tady máte kostel? V Užicích. Teď nevím, jestli vůbec jdu dobře. Kdyby byl kostel takhle na kraji vesnice, to se mi moc nezdá. Nebo mám ještě zjišťovat něco? Už vidím asi kostel. Přesně na opačné straně, než jsem běžel já, jako obvykle. Tamhle vzadu ta budova s tou věžičkou. Nic jiného tady tak jako kostelně nevypadá. Makej, Indro, makej. Ani těch lidí tady moc není, tady někdo pracuje. Těch se teď ptát nebudu. Kde je ten kostel? Je hospoda a tamhle je věžička. Tohle by mohlo být ono. Tady je nějaký pán. Kdo to je? Tady šermuješ? Blázne. Farář! Toho chcem? Čteme zlehka, tak jako pokecáme s ním. Nemůžeme ho... Nemůžeme na něho hned tak huknout, aby se nám nepolekal. Pracovat se nám nechce, tak jdem se ptat na Luboše.
I'm here in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa, investigating the massacre at Neuhof, which seems to be connected to a murder here. Can I ask you a few questions?
It seems Sir Hanush is employing children as investigators. But ask as you wish, boy. I hope this nasty business will be cleared up quickly.
Did you know Lubosh? What was he like?
A bit of a lost soul. Simple, rough fellow, but at heart I don't think he was such a bad person.
Did you notice anything suspicious recently?
My child. All sorts of suspicious things have been going on recently.
Včera za tebou byl, něco ti určitě řekl. Nešel za tebou jenom tak.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing on the day Neuhof was raided?
Unfortunately, I do know. And I'd like to help you with your investigation, but I can't.
What?
Jak nemohu? Musíš.
I'm bound by certain vows that forbid me to tell you.
Vows more important than catching dangerous murderers?
There are laws of God above the laws of man, son. And one of those is the sanctity of the confessional.
Father, surely you can't be serious. There must be situations in which you can make an exception.
There are things that apply always, no matter what the circumstances, and this is one of them.
Už mu nemůžeš nějak uškodit. Silou to na něho asi nepůjde. Zkusíme to takhle.
You can't hurt him, but if you don't tell me, more innocent people may die.
If I told you, I would be betraying
To se
a vow
nepovedlo.
that's a cornerstone of the Holy Church. If people believed the sanctity of the confessional couldn't be trusted, the consequences would be even worse than that.
Worse than the death of innocent Christians? Worse than the murderer escaping punishment?
No one escapes punishment.
Otče, ale jediný, kdo mi může něco říct.
Only he could tell me who was responsible for that massacre. If I don't find out who it was, it will probably happen again. Surely you wouldn't want that.
I wouldn't. But I can't betray the sanctity of the confessional. I'll tell you what. Give me some time and I'll try to think up some way of helping you. Suppose we talk it over in the evening. In the tavern. Over a cup of good wine. Maybe we'll come up with something.
All right. Thank you, Father.
God be with you.
Že večer v hospodě, jo? Bohu to. Co tady budeme dělat do večera? Najdeme tu hospodu. To bude nějaký písař, kupec. Hospoda. Hospoda je tady. Je to hostinec s ubytováním? Ano nebo ne? Pane hostinský.
Is there anything suspicious going on in these parts?
Indeed there is.
No, tak nějakou zábavu.
You should hear about what Vašek the groom has been up to at the stables. When the head groom told the lads here, they
Nechci nějaký vtipy. Potřebuje někdo s něčím pomoct?
Just last night, Father Godwin was here, calling fire and brimstone down on old Gertrude, the herb woman. He's not one to make a fuss over some trifle either.
Ty mi asi o Lubošovi nic neřekneš. Konec rozhovoru. Svou postýlku mám tady, teda nahoře. Ale nejsem ani moc unavený, tak nevím právě, jestli mi to vůbec nechá. Zkusíme to udělat takhle. Do večera, do 8, dejme tomu 10 hodin, tak... Do 3 počkám. A zbytek pak prospíme do těch 8. Ať jsme na bohu tu pořádně odpočatí. A z něho vymámíme tu odpověď. Protože bez toho se neposuneme dál. A poslední hodina je vždycky nejhorší. Ať už čekám, nebo spím, tak ta poslední hodina se vleče vždycky úplně nejdýl. Spát, ale já jsem si zaplatil postel. Že jo? A ne tam na zemi nějakou hadru. Tak, ty to do těch 8 dospíme. Odpočatost 100%, výborně. Pak si jednou trošku napapáme něčeho. A budeme naprosto připraveni a ve skvělé kondici. Zdraví, odpočatí a napapaní. Tak, v posledních hodinách se to úplně zbrzdilo za ty hodiny. Hurá, vstávat, Jindřichu. Jdeme za Bohutou na pivo. Ještě se někde nadlábnem teda, po cestě. Hra uložená, výborně Indro, se probudil. Jo, tady je ten žebřík, ten se úplně lekl. Že jsem ztratil žebřík. Máš tu kotlík na najezení? Nemáš. Hospodský. Dej mi najíst.
I'm at your service, Sir Knight.
Mám hlad. Co si dáme? Dáme si pečenou kachnu. Nasycenost 68. Dáme si salám. A slaninu. To by mohlo stačit. Smlouvat nebudem, to jsou drobný. Tak, sníme to. Pečená kachna sníst. Salám sníst. Nasycenost 111. Ajaj, to jsme zase přepískli trošku. Jdeme najít toho bohutu. Jseš tu bohuto? Nebo jsi ještě nepřišel? Tady seš.
Hail as usual.
I'm sorry I can't tell you everything. But maybe we can work something out. But first I'd
Tak
like to hear something
vymýšlej,
about you.
potřebuju to vědět.
With whom do I have the honor? Where are you from?
Momentálně je to priorita. Nejdůležitější pro mě.
I'm from Skalitz.
Musím na tebe být teďka hodnej, poketat si s tebou trochu. Nemůžu na tebe být zlej,
What about your kin?
když od tebe něco chci.
They're dead.
Ale ve skutečnosti se mi o tom mluvit nechce.
Here,
Bohuto,
we'll drink to
abys
that.
věděl.
It must have been terrible.
It was terrible. Seemed so pointless.
Mluvím s tebou jenom protože od tebe něco chci.
They just appeared and began the slaughter. God knows why. They killed anyone who didn't make it to the shelter of the castle. My parents, my girl, even the Deutsch who was on Sigismund's side. I didn't make it to the castle. I wanted to try and help my parents, but there was nothing I could do. Then I fled to Talmberg with the Cumans on my heels. They almost killed me. They slaughtered people in the surrounding villages. There was a pile of bodies in front of the church in Rovno. Folk who tried to take refuge there, but
My poor child.
Hrozný to bylo.
May God grant them
Nechci na to
eternal
pořád
rest.
vzpomínat
And how did you come
a
to get this assignment?
pořád to každému opakovat.
Sir Hanish to send that old grouch Bernard.
he did, but I found a witness and the trail led here to Ujit, so he sent me here to follow it up.
Ah, well, congratulations. It's nice to see someone using their head to find things out instead of torture. We'll have to drink to that. Now the most important thing. What actually happened in Noyo? The good folks hereabout are saying all kinds of terrible things, but I take most of it with a pinch of salt.
No, tak tentokrát to tam fouknutý není. Rozřezaní koně, jenom tak pro zábavu, nějaký mrtvoly. Hrůza.
They maimed the horses and slaughtered some people. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarreled among themselves and broke off the attack. And judging by what's left of our Lubosh, they're still settling accounts.
Čistá hrůza.
Every bit as bad as people claimed. Dreadful. Well then,
No a proto mi musíš říct
I've told you all about me.
o těch Lubošových kámoších. Víš? Aby se to neopakovalo.
I noticed you're pretty handy with a sword. I wouldn't expect that of a man of the cloth.
A se to nesmíme moc uspěchat, Dindro. Musíme se s ním trošku popovídat s ním.
Let's just say I haven't always been a priest. Fate led me to places where affairs were settled by force. These days, of course, it's just a bit of exercise to keep me in shape.
Tak jdeme na to. Jdeme k věci.
Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but now let's get down to business. So, about this confessional seal. Do you really want more innocent people to die?
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make exceptions because if you do it once, you'll forever be tempted to do it again. If people stop believing in the church because their confessional secrets are betrayed, they won't trust anyone, and that's worse than even the most hideous crime.
Jenomže ten zločin nebude jenom jeden, když to... To jsou jen výmluvy. To je takový zákeřný, to by se mu nemuselo líbit. Takhle to zkusíme. Zkusíme poplakat nejdřív.
Those cutthroats will strike again and I can't stop them.
Chin up, lad. I might have a solution.
What?
Výborně.
If I tell you what Luboš told me, I'd be betraying the confessional secret. But first thing tomorrow, I'll try something.
Jak hned zítra?
Word of honor?
Ráno říkal večer mi řekneš zítra.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his.
To je pořád potom a skutek utek.
Well, Užitz isn't Prague. It's not enough to instruct people. They have to be entertained too. If I only read from the Bible, I'd soon be preaching to an empty church.
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard. So what do you preach to your flock about?
It has to be something topical. Condemning vices. And of course describing them in detail. A tongue lashing about the two popes goes down well these days. And stories from real life, with a nice moral to them, are popular as well. Especially if they're about fornication and similar scandalous vices.
Can you give me an example?
Well, recently a priest by the name of Jan Hus started preaching in Prague, in the Czech language, and the people liked it.
Jak nějaký Jan Hus, ty.
A journeyman who heard him told me what Hus was preaching, and I liked the sound of it.
To se všechno stane.
Putting it in my own repertoire.
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching of Master Jan Hus about Mother Church, the lamentable wealth in which the church is drowning has turned to poison, and nearly the whole of Christendom is contaminated. Just like a flock of hungry ravens, they settled on this land to devour every grain of gold and silver. They don't know mercy. Their hearts are corrupted by longing for wealth, and they shamelessly profit from everything. You want to baptize a child?
Bohu to zkrať to, ať někam dostanem.
Pay and you will have absolution. What if the devil himself were to pay? Would he ascend to heaven too? With such money gained from the poor, they buy beautiful horses to ride and needless servants.
Tady tohle tvoje pindání mě vůbec nebaví. Už se někam pohní, já chci vyšetřovat mord.
Jesus Christ walked barefoot and had no place to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too. Amen.
Well, this Jan Hus character.
Už se vykecal?
Oh, the congregation will love it.
I don't doubt it.
Let's drink to that.
Funny. That last bit reminds me of someone.
What do you mean? My situation is completely different. Huth preaches against the prelates and the clerics who are robbing the poor. Look at me. I don't have a pot to piss in. I'm no better off than the folk I preach to. I'm one with them in poverty and suffering and everything that troubles them. I drink with them and curse those stuffed habits and
Kluci, ale už toho fakt nechte jako. Dost kázání.
Thanks for the sermon, but I think I've been morally uplifted enough.
It's getting quite late. What are your plans, Father?
What do you suppose? We have a drink, of course.
No co teď? Asi se s ním budu muset napít. Aby jsme byli kámoši. Aby z něho něco dostal. Třeba když se trošičku opije, tak něco v opílosti pustí. Nějakou radu. Nějakou informaci. Jak postupovat dál v našem vyšetřování. Se jen to tam nějak rozjíždí.
To neustojí žádnej chlap. Na kraj padnul děsej smutek, kdo měl nohy ráno utek, těch i v včera žil, dneska je prach. Už sej mojí svatý muži, nechtěl bych bejt v jejich kůži. Nám je to jedno a tak si dáme jedno a požadem si umí jako poslední jen. Buďme s vámi a voda na stávy a tak vypal sufy a posaď se mi sem. Tak posaď se sem a vypal je ven. Ukaž kozy jako vozy, zejtra jen tu jsou nejdem, tak nalej mi hned a točí se svět.
Enough of this.
Ožrali jste se jak prasata.
Come on over here, sit down and have a drink with us.
Don't vex me again, Father. It's 3 hours past dusk, and curfew is long gone.
So what?
So, I'll have you all whipped and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can ride is me.
Enough! Men,
Dobře on.
throw them out.
Bouta.
You looking for a fight? Henry, back me up.
Hele, jak jako Jindřichu, braň mě. Co mě do toho taháš? Bouto. Já se tady nechci to. Rvát s rychtářem. To nikdy nekončí dobře, takové věci.
No more fooling around.
Ještě někdo? Právě nevím, koho mám být. Tak zbyl jsem 2, tak asi jo. Pomohl jsem mu, výborně. Ale ti 2, jak se tady teďka rvali spolu, tak to nebyl ani jeden z nich Bohuta. Kde to jsem? Se to objevili.
Right, Henry. Stop that nonsense, Godwin. Are you out of your mind? What will people say?
Nejde s ním mluvit se šenkýřkou. Bohutova konkubína. Šenkýřko! Asi to nejde, to mluvení. Nacházím se na soukromém pozemku, ale byl jsem tam pozvaný. Tady od faráře.
We can't do this, can we?
Who says? Get ringing, wench.
No, je to farář. To bychom poslechnout měli. Tak si zazvodíme. Oh, Bohuta už zvrací. Hovado zatracený.
And now, my dears, comes the climax of the evening.
A, tak tohle je zlatý hřeb večera. Nebo byl? Vypadá, že je ráno. Tak teprve bude. To je ta šenkýřka. Není náhodou ten hospodský její manžel? To není dobrý. Tak ráno, probudili jsme se, ahoj Bohuto. Tady bečíš. Hlavu vypitá. On se mnou mluvit nechce. Mluv, Bohuto.
Hej.
Hurá. Mě zaregistroval.
Well, I have to say that was a fine.
No, party to byla dobrá teda. To je pravda, Indro. A to divočina. Takový spokojený výraz. Už schrápete?
Godwin, you beast. Get up.
Bohuto, ty hovado.
You hear me? Wake up, you drunkards.
Oh, fucking hell. Where the... what the... who the hell are you?
Ty si mě nepamatuješ? Jo, hurá, pamatuješ. Když jsem se leknul.
We have a wonderful time.
Well, you certainly did, you old lecher. Now you better pull yourself together quick. You haven't much time. There's some water and something to eat on the table there, but if I were you, I would move my hairy arse before my flock eats me alive.
Oh, step on in my head. Oh, my guts. Oh, my poor suffering stomach. Oh, what was that woman on about? Before my flock eats me alive. I've forgotten something.
No jo, těžký rána.
Where the fuck am I? What the fuck was it?
Po takových večírcích.
Mass! Oh shit, I have to say mass. I gotta say mass.
Tak to ti nezávidím, Bohuto.
How? You're the priest. I can't do it in this state. Maybe the liturgy. But I have to give a sermon as well. Oh, this is a disaster. They're gonna excommunicate me. I'd like to help you, but you can. You can do the sermon for me.
Cože? Zbláznil ses?
So, first I investigate a murder no one wants investigated.
Nebudu dělat kázání.
Keep the whole town up all night. And now you want
Nikdy jsem to nedělal. Nejsou žádný svatý, vysvěcený, pomazaný.
Suppose it's Sir Ratzig's protege. You just came from studying in Prague. And you want to share the words of Master Jan Hus, who you recently heard preaching there.
Ty Bohuto.
Henry.
Nevymýšlej kraviny. Řekni mi info o kulhavým Lubošovi a půjdem si každý po svým zase. Tohle se mi nelíbí. Jo, najednou mi všechno prozradíš a to zpovědní tajemství. Pěkně vyčuranej, Bohuto. Si myslím. Jo, přesně tak. Ještě mi budeš vyhrožovat? Co mám dělat, když mi to asi jinak neřekneš? No ty ručíš. Ty mi řekneš o tom Lubošovi, co chci vědět, ať už to dopadne jakkoliv. Tady ta šaškárna tvoje. Bohuťáku.
Let's get to it then.
No, jdem na to, je to máme z krku. Co tady máš? Nemáš tady něco, co bych si tady odnesl ještě? To je sednout a číst. Tak, jdeme. Už jdu, prosím tě. Jak to, že jsem přežranej, když jsem nic nejedl? Jindro, proč to jíš? Já jsem ti nedal povel k jezení. Pro dneska za úkol splněn. Když jsem žádný kázání nedělal. Zatím ještě. Už jsme tady. Jindra přišel takhle bosky. Jak to, že nejsem oblečený? Nemám věci. A už mi to napsalo, že úkol splněn. Přeci. Tak. Prosím tě, aby ses nepokadil náhodou. Naděláš pro trochu fazolky. Jsme si s Bohutou trošku vyrazili z kopejtka, no. On tam nablil do toho poháru. To je ta šenkýřka z večera.
You may have had the honor of meeting Henry from Skalitz, who is here at the behest of Sir Hanush to investigate that heinous crime at Neuhof. You might not know that Henry recently visited Prague, where by the grace of God was able to hear Master Jan Hus
představitel církve.
I've managed to persuade Henry to stand here today in my stead and tell us what he heard. Because, as you all probably know, Jan Hus is a very popular preacher.
To bude spíš takový čertovo kvítko, než boží služebníček, bych řekl. No, co mi teď, Jindřichu? Zahájí kázání sebevědomě, obšírně, skromně. Tak sebevědomě.
Brothers and sisters, let me get straight to the point. I'd like to talk about the church and how corrupt it is. Boy has a cheek.
Dobře, dobře. Se nám povedlo. Tak je to.
God is above all things, and the church is but a means to salvation, which the prelates do not care to hear.
He's right.
Jo, líbí se jim to zatím, tak zatím to vypadá dobře. Pokračovat tvrdě, obšírně, skromně. Tvrdě do nich.
It is the corruption of God's pastors here on earth that has brought misfortune on our heads. Plague, cumens, hunger and
do církve úplatné, proradné, úspěch.
Is poisoning almost the whole of Christendom.
Tvrdě do nich.
Fighting over a bone, take the bone and they will stop. Just like the flock of ravens that has descended on this land to peck up every speck of gold and silver. They show no mercy. Their hearts are poisoned by covetousness. They trade everything. Everything is for sale. You want to baptize a child? Pay.
You want to steal and murder? Pay and you will have absolution. And the prelates sin and give
Pravdu máš,
themselves
Jindro.
absolution.
For shame! Shame upon them!
Řekl jsi jim to pěkně od plic.
And what sins? They live with harlots and keep concubines? Even though only marital intercourse for the purpose of procreation is
Może
pure.
to říkáš zrovna
If
ty?
someone takes a woman or man only to satisfy their own lust, who seduces
Potom
them to do so?
večírku s bohutou.
And how much darker the sin if that man is a servant of the church? Who can turn his face to God, who fornicates and then puts on priestly robes?
Nothing we don't know about already.
Tak budeme pokračovat tvrdě. Když to jednou vyšlo, třeba to vyjde i po druhé.
And whose absolution they promise if you only pay enough coin to Mother Church. What if the devil himself were to pay?
To se lidem líbí,
Will the bishops tell us he too would ascend
když
to
se
heaven?
nadává
And what about those bishops?
a
They
plameně
sin without
mluví.
remorse, and with the money grasped from the poor for indulgences, they keep fine horses and hordes of servants to pamper them. They play dice and garb their mistresses in expensive furs, while Christ, the Lamb of God, walked barefoot and had nowhere to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too.
Down with the prelates. Away with them.
We're fortunate to have our good Father Godwin. At least he's a fair and simple man.
No vidíte.
God sees what is happening on earth, and he is filled with
Bohuty se
righteous
zastaneme.
love, that those who should seek the salvation
Aspoň
of
si u něho
souls
uděláme ještě
instead
takový oko
seek
navíc.
mammon and the idle
Doufám teda.
comfort of lucrative posts. Blessed are the shepherds who share the poverty of their flock, who are as one with you and bear with you the burden
Jindro, ale
of
jde
this
ti to
earthly
teda.
pilgrimage, who do not condemn your
Řečníš
venial sins.
jako opravdový farář.
That is all I heard.
To je dobrý, že s váma chlastá. Jeden z vás nestraní se vás.
The lad spoke well, considering what a soak he is.
He's right, Dapples.
Dobře to dopadlo, lidem se to líbilo. Odcházejí spokojení. To je důležitý. Odcházet ze mše pozitivně naladěnej.
Well, well, my boy, you have talent, and I can't deny it. And you pulled a thorn from my side. I almost didn't make it.
Yeah, I noticed. I wasn't the only one.
Oh, what's to be done? I'll make it up somehow.
So, about our bargain.
No, a povídej.
Says gluttony and fornication.
God does forgive a penitent.
So, what did Limpy Lubosh tell you? Was he at Neuhof that day? Who was with him? And where are they now?
Now slow down. I'm sorry, but he didn't tell me that much.
Don't let me down after all I've been through.
Doufám, že mi aspoň něco řekneš teda ty.
Now Luboš came to me shortly after it happened. His conscience was gnawing at him. And I must say, in the end, he turned out to be a better man than he looked. He said they'd been hired through some crony of theirs. And at first they were just to steal some horses. But then it all turned sour and people started getting killed. And neither he nor his cronies wanted anything to do with that. So they fell out from the gang and fled.
Proto zrádce. Že utekl. Nechtěl vraždit.
That would explain something. Luboš kept jabbering that he wasn't a murderer, that he didn't want to do it.
So I know that Luboš killed the murderer and he's dead too. The trouble is, I need to find the ones who are still alive.
Ano, ano.
Names and places. Did he mention any of the others?
Only nicknames. Talked about some fella...
Smraďou z ledečka.
Pius, Timmy.
Pius. That lot are about as pious as I am ordained.
Nonsense. You would make an excellent priest. And anyhow, with your skills, you ought to be able to sniff out this reeky from Ledechko, right?
Well, we'll have to now. There's not much else to go on. Let's hope he's not hanging from the wall, too.
Indeed. And I'd hate to be excommunicated for nothing. Anyhow, good luck. You watch out for yourself. These people clearly mean business. And I'd like to raise a tankard with you again sometime.
Yeah, I'll try.
No to určitě, já doufám, že už se s tebou nikdy neuvidím, ty.
If anyone should ask, you heard nothing from me.
S tebou je to akorát tak na nějaký průser dobrý totiž, bych řekl. No, ale řekl jsi, to jsme potřebovali vědět, nebo aspoň trochu. Takže tentokrát už víme, nebo aspoň už víme, kam dál. Do Ledečka hledat smraďocha. Máme bolehlav a jsme přežraní. Mrkneme se, jak je to daleko, ale Ledečko zas tak daleko, myslím, odsud není. Oddálit. No. Je to dost daleko. Nicméně do Ledečka se vydáme v příštím díle, který bude, jak doufám, zanedlouho. Dám si tak hodinku oraz, nebo tak nějak, a pak budu pokračovat. Takže díky za pozornost, mějte se a ještě dneska se ještě uvidíme. Doufám. Mějte se, díky a tím čau.